I need some food. So hold on. I'm just turning my video off. You can hear me. I'm just going to eat. There. See, I'm here. Everybody can see your pretty face as you work.
Well, I just got out of the shower. My hair is still wet, and I just tied it up when
mm, when
I
I
sat
when
back down to work and was like, "Oh, well, Lauren's going to go live. I'm just going to watch Lauren go live." And then you were like, "Hey, join me," and I'm like, "All right."
well, yeah. I forget. I like to. I like to. I just roll like that
You
because
do,
I've gotten to the point that I'm like tired of the scripted stuff. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah, like I've been like I can't. I don't even care. People can watch me eat. I don't care. That's my level of S that I give now. Um, or that I don't give now. Let me see if I can. People can watch me eat. I have no shame, zero shame. You know that. There you go. Oh, there you go. Um, so yeah, no, that was something that I was like watching when we were out in the middle of nowhere. It's just like the scripted like podcast are ridiculous. And
Oh.
I'm not gonna say names out of respect for them, but I will say that it's really funny feedback I got. I was like, oh, she's like, yeah, the questions were kind of. I was like, oh, okay. I'll tell you that later. I'm not gonna say that right now.
Yeah.
But it's just it was funny. But that's why I haven't watched any of these okay, let me ask you. When was the last time you watched a podcast that involved like I don't know, literacy or dyslexia? Other than ours. Other than when we do like a random pop-up, like when was the last time you watched one?
Well, I don't have a whole lot of time.
Really? No.
I mean, I work full time. I'm homeschooling my kid. I tend to cook dinner most nights. You
Mm,
know,
yeah, that's Graham. He's like, I'm cooking for you, mom.
yeah, there's, laundry to do, things to do, and I need a little bit of downtime every day. So, how many podcasts out there that I watch? Currently none, but if I do listen to a literacy based podcast, I tend to listen to Face podcast. And that's it.
Well, that would be a good one
Yeah.
too.
Because I like to hear it from the teacher perspective, right?
Yeah.
And their podcast is from the teacher perspective.
But then
But
like
but other podcasts out there on literacy and dyslexia?
no.
No.
Hard no.
Because here's my primary issue with it.
Oh, here we go. Ah, I got her in her
Be-
bag. I caught her off guard, so she wasn't able to think this out. So here's
no, you just
unfiltered.
you
Here's
caught me
Ash.
on a
I triggered. I triggered you. Here's Ash
you
unfiltered. This is the best part about Ashley.
you
Which
caught me on a saucy day.
I did. Did I catch you on a saucy day? Imagine that.
You caught me on a saucy day. Um, I'm tired, just like you. I'm tired of the same old out there, and I'm tired of people talking down to parents, and I'm tired of people. Like there's a Facebook group a couple of days ago that's moderated by a parent that she did a post and she said, I'm not going to let teachers in here anymore. And she is getting hundreds and hundreds of comments from teachers saying, peace out. Obviously, you don't really want to change anything. You don't want to work for change. You don't want to do anything. I was here to learn, blah, 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 blah.
But it's a
And
mom trying to like make a safe space for people.
correct. And that's exactly, she's defending herself and that's exactly what she's doing. And she's like, I'm not interested in the people that are here to defend the status quo or not be about change. And people are like, you're the problem, peace out, like all this stuff. And I'm sitting here going, this has been the core problem within everything that we deal with is you and I and every other parent out there can't say my child is struggling without somebody popping up and go, oh, you're bashing teachers.
I know. Like I know. It's a yeah, it is a
So
very
I'm,
you're
you
like in
know,
I just want you to just full disclosure. I'm just letting you know how you look at on Instagram when you get in the camera and do that. Um,
Well, it's your page, so,
oh, okay,
people are
thanks.
used to cursing, and my parents will never see it, so.
Man, 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 you mean. Um, like,
Not mean. I'm just, where I am is I'm tired. I've been really quiet for the last couple of years because I'm really tired. I'm tired of the BS. I'm tired of having to play games because at the end of the day, what everything boils down to is number one, do you care about children? Number two, do you think that it's important that people actually learn how to read? Number three, we're supposed to be doing that in elementary school, right? Number four, if you answered yes to 1, 2, and 3, but you are not actually working to ensure that all children learn how to read and write in elementary school, you're part of the problem.
yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna argue that. I'm not arguing that.
So
You're not gonna get
that's
me arguing that.
that's where I am.
Oh, I'm
And I don't care how many people will come at
me.
me and be like, Ashley, I can't believe you did that. I'm not going to follow you anymore. More power to you, sister.
You're like, bye, see you later. It's all good. Hold on, I'm trying to see how I can send this to Adrian, but it's
So yeah, you caught me on a saucy day.
just go to my Insta. I'm telling her to go there.
Who?
Adrian. She's been having a rough weekend. I'm gonna say Ash and hold on. I'm on because like anyway, so the parents, yeah, the parent thing is kind of a whole ass hot mess. I gotta like read
Well,
study.
what I find frustrating is, I've always been nice. I've been honest, but I've always been nice,
God forbid. How dare
you know? And I've still paid an enormous price for being nice.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the greatest cruelty has been thrown at me by educators who don't like the honesty perspective,
Correct.
right? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I won't say the name of that one particular educator who I have always followed his works and, really admired him. And the hate-filled email that he sent me
Oh,
was, that was a difficult thing to stomach. And I had to think long and hard on that for, me, I process emotions over a great deal of time and my thought process and all of that. And, I finally landed on a place where he's a gatekeeper, even though he claims that he's not. And I don't have time for the gatekeepers because I was always in this space to support parents with the truth, with resources, and to work for change. And I'm not going to change who I am or what my message is in order to make certain people comfortable.
well,
Because the system still broke my kid
yeah.
and nobody cared about that.
I said, well, okay, hold on. At what point? Hold on. Not that conversation. Are you really doing that conversation?
I'm just talking.
You're
He
just
said talk, so I'm just talking.
okay. Well, this view, this Instagram view is really making me mad. But
Stop jacking with Instagram.
well, dude, it looks weird. Like it's got a split, and it's just bizarre. And I'm just gonna go back to the Substack one because that one's more study, and I'm literally leaning into that one versus the others because the others just hurt my brain. Which is why I'm happy I finally figured out how to get Instagram and yeah, how to get Zoom to stream through Substack, so I don't have to rely on like Meta for anything. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because that was just not convenient for anybody. So what brought this on for me? Oh yeah, in the school year. So it's like I saw, so that's what prompted me to jump on. I was like, I saw you put the yearly post up on Instagram. Like,
My favorite post.
yeah, your favorite post. It's like the post we all like as moms of kids on IEPs. It's like, hi, we get shit on. Our kids don't get the awards. We don't get all the things. That
Or if they get the awards, it's like best smile.
best smile, exactly. Yeah, best smile, best laugh.
Yeah, friendliest classmate,
Yes,
funniest.
funniest kid. And you know, like
The kid that tried the hardest.
oh yes, that's my favorite. I love that one. Ashley and I are just being like way too honest with this one. I really don't care though, because like this is the beautiful thing is if I catch Ash on a day when she's in a mood, it's usually every day. I'm being honest, it's every day. Um, she's the nicest human on Facebook, but if you talk to her and she in a mood or you catch her and she ain't prepared or prepped or had like 24 hours to go over what she's gonna say and be all composed and shit, like man, no.
Yeah, but I'm still unscripted, even if I think about it for 24 hours.
No, you're not, man. You like you get so calm. You get so calm. I'm like, I'm gonna like I need to come through the screen or call Andrew or your son and say, hey, can you go slap your mom in the back of the head and tell her to like be her? Sorry. Um,
Mm-mm.
you're like, yeah, no, I don't care. Whatever. I'm gonna stick to the Zoom window. Now what brought on is like, you know, as I was out in my happy place in the middle of nowhere with zero cell reception.
Yeah, I was
With
gonna text you today and be like, when are
yeah,
you
no
coming
time.
home?
Oh well, yeah, I got home.
Because you didn't tell me when you
I
left,
thought
and
I was
suddenly I'm like, wait, she's where?
yeah, I didn't tell anybody. I just left. Fuck it, I'm go. We're leaving. Bye.
Yeah,
No,
but you're supposed to tell me.
nobody needs an announcement to know that I'm like going to my happy place in the middle of nowhere. Um, yeah, we were in the mountains again at our little magic place out there.
Mm,
And it was really cool though because the owner, because Avery refers to it as the magical fairy cabin. And so the owner actually got her this really awesome book. If I can find it. You'd appreciate it because you're the book nerd. Um
right.
I am, but not as much as you. I mean, I just read books that, you know, are I guess frowned upon in today's political climate. Um, let's see here. It's a really cool book though, but they like got her this fairy book and
Nice.
it's like a really nice I'm not even gonna show it right now. Don't care.
I had
Um
realized that then 2 years ago before I packed up all the books. I should have sent you these two pop-up books that I have
I
that are
have
really,
we
really
have
beautiful that are all about fairies.
oh yeah, no. Well, she doesn't really care about the fairies.
Mm.
That was the funny part. She was like, "Oh, okay," but she really liked the book. She liked the like, but she was also really tempted to break it like immediately because she's Avery. Um, because that's just how that's how Abe's rolls. Hold on, I'll show you now. I got it. I got it. I figured this out. Look at that. Look at that. All right, I'm gonna share. Okay, see? Can you see it?
Yep.
Isn't that pretty?
That's similar to the two books that I have.
Isn't that cute? Okay, and so stop share and share a different one. And so the other that I have is if I come out of this one and go into let's see here. Okay, so this is like what our our host left for us. If I can hit share again, man. Hold on, I got too many photos.
By the way, I have a meeting in 30 minutes.
I don't care. Um, love you mean it. Hold on. Get a stupid photo real quick because it's really cute. Hold on, share. There it is. Look. So the people that ever saw like this is who owns where we went, and that said
Mhm.
all your fairy adventures at Shady Grove. Sweet.
Oh, that's cute.
No, I was like, oh, my book.
Very cute.
Oh, that's sweet. And then so I'm not just like pivoting back to the whole like end of the school year thing. Why is it still showing? Do I still have the share on?
No.
Oh, weird. It'll go away. Um, As I'm gonna cram food in my mouth as I try and share this, by the way. Hold on. Okay. Um, so did you notice like when I posted the stuff about Sawyer? Um, or like his grades? Like the amount of love bombing I got from teachers and parents that know him was so overwhelming.
That's good.
Well, it kind of speaks to the whole like now don't get mad because I know you and you're mad you still mad about having to homeschool again. But hold
And
on.
I'm jealous. I'm
Just
jealous.
I
You
know,
know that I'm jealous.
I know. Hold on. Anyway, it's not like we've had it easy either, man. We neither of us have, but
I know.
I
Not
never.
arguing that.
But you and I both know, historically speaking, when it comes to our kids, we never really had like an experience at the end of the year where there's just like nothing but amazing things said to us and like people just going out of their way to be like, oh my God, that's your, like my kid loves you and I'm so happy to know your son. Like he makes like the one that stuck out the most was he does such a good job with the little kids or with the littles, and he's always, making sure that they're comfortable and that they feel safe and they're happy. And I was like, well, yeah, I was like, that's like a massive role he takes seriously. Like he wants to make sure that they feel safer than he did. So he takes that responsibility on. But just seeing people like that I've never met, again, never met them, telling me that my son just goes out of his way and breaks his neck to make sure it's comfortable and happy and like everybody's happy. He works with the little kids and he makes them just smile. And I'm like, how did I raise such a good human? Because if you met my daughter, I mean, she pulls,
But you don't get enough credit for her because, I mean, you're saucy all the time, but people think because you're saucy, you must not be nice. And the reality is you're an incredibly
I'm
nice
overly
person who
nice.
wears your heart on your sleeve, and you don't get any credit for that.
People don't give away my krypton or my secret.
Sorry, it's out
Well,
there.
right, it's okay though because I do wear my heart on my sleeve, and um, you know, uh, I try and raise good humans. Um, but with getting back to it, it's just like we never get that end of the year like thing where everybody's on Facebook posting all of these glorious, like, oh, my kid's doing this, my kid's doing. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm happy my kid made it to the end of the school year without a panic attack. That's me. And that would be the case this year. He made it back into brick and mortar and he didn't have a panic attack. So those were my ones for him. Other than the fact that he got to be a normal pain in the ass teenager for the first time ever. Like literally, like we said, the goal now is like that we didn't even realize would be a goal was that we just wanted a normal pain in the ass teenager. Like that's all we want. Just a kid that like talks smack back to us or does something stupid like stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning playing video, like whatever. But if that's his biggest crime, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because he busts his ass at school and
Mm-hmm.
we put zero pressure on him, but he still maintains that, like, okay, that competitive thing that he and G both have. I'm like, yo, why you gotta be extra like that? Um, Parents are gonna start thinking that like we drill this into your head. And my husband and I are over here like, nah, I don't even know what you're doing in geometry, kid. Like I can't help you with your homework. Um, but no, it was just that was just something that I wanted to say. Is like it was weird, and it's so weird because for the first time in the history ever, my son as a ninth grader, that's the first time I ever had an end of year send off of, oh my God, like, and it came from teachers and parents. I was like, what is this nonsense? What is going on? I didn't know how, like, I was in my feels.
Well, and unfortunately, I've never experienced that from teachers. Here's part of why I like that post so much, and why I think why I think it's important
uh-huh.
to repost it on an annual basis.
Mhm.
Is it's not an ableist acknowledgement.
Mm-mm.
It says you've sandwich on your lower lip, by the way.
Thank you. I'm eating it. Thank you.
But it acknowledges that it's hard. It doesn't say things like, hopefully you didn't have any panic attacks, or, hopefully you didn't have to be medicated to get through the year, and, hopefully your stomach didn't hurt and you didn't have migraines, and, you couldn't get out of bed in the morning and you cried every day and you begged your parents not to force you to go to school and all of those things. But it says it says that, but in a really beautiful but simple way, in a non-ableist acknowledgement.
It does. And that's why I, like, when I saw you post it, I was like, yeah, there she is. She's in her feels. I was like, oh, okay.
No, not really, because it pops up in my memories.
No, it's just well, yeah, it's a core memory because you post it every year.
Right.
It's like,
And because I shared it at one point on my personal wall, it shows up in my personal Facebook memories, which is, I'm glad that I did that, because it's a reminder to me that I need to go out and do it. And, two, finding that picture in the thousands of photos that I take on an annual basis is
yes,
also a pain.
the screenshots are real. The
Yeah.
memes are real. We have lots and lots and lots of those. I know I have way too many. Like, at this point, I'm literally downstairs, like, trying to beg my husband to, like, get me another external, like, a new external hard drive, because I'm like, I've got, like, stuff everywhere. Can you please just have mercy on me? Because I just want it to, I'm trying to airdrop this to my, there it goes. I'm gonna show people a picture that we're talking about. If my Bluetooth on my phone wants to respond. You suck. Hold on. Maybe it's because my, oh, it shared. Hold on, let me look. But there it is. Okay. Oh, okay, open. There it is. Oh, dear God. Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna do that. And I'm just gonna save it in my picture so people can see what you're talking about, because right now it sounds like we're just insane. Because we're
I
just
think
like,
we sound like we're insane.
we're like, well, I mean, we are, but like, that's kind of questionable. Our sanity, I think, got questioned years ago, but still gets questioned by a lot of people. None of who matter.
Do you need me to text it to you?
Well, I've got it. I'm just
Okay.
I'm sharing, ma'am. Hold on.
Okay.
Dude, I'm doing dual screen mode, okay? My brain is having to work extra, and it's not healthy for my ADHD to do this. So there's a there. This is what she's talking about.
Yep.
This photo. To all the kids who didn't win an award or make honor roll, like, yeah. I remember when I first saw this. Like, it was, if we all came across this at the same time.
I think I originally posted it in either 2018 or 2019. I think it was 2018.
It was,
But
yeah,
could
but
have been 2019.
I remember when that came out, when it was like, it spread like wildfire.
Yeah.
It,
First time I posted it, it got shared an absolute ton of times, and I haven't even looked at it since I posted it this morning.
well, oh, there's Adrian. She's live. And it's still showing you making fun of me because I had sandwich on my face. So there's, hey, lady. So anyway, and to that point, since I do know that Adrian's on, she's saying hi to us. I know Adrian right now is like, she had a bad weekend. I'm not going to get out in all the details because it's not anybody's business, but I will say, Adrian, we love you. And I'm really sorry. And I wish I lived close to you so I can give you a great big hug.
Same.
Ash is saying the same thing because like you're one of the most like tenacious individuals we've ever met, and you routinely just plow through and do whatever. And like the way that just like the disregard at every level for you and everything you do for your babies and for like it's just it makes me so mad. Because you work triple what everybody else has to do. And then
Mhm.
they're raising two dyslexic babies at the same time. So, I just want to say, love you. I'm so sorry. Your weekend was horrible, and I really wish I could give you a great big hug and just let you like bawl your eyes out. Because if anybody needs it, it's you. And if you don't hear it from anybody in New York, specifically in the area that you live, um, you're awesome. Your kids are awesome, and you don't need validation from anybody else. Okay, lady, we love you. She really did have a bad weekend. That's why I'm like talking to her on
No,
his.
I get it. And obviously I don't know what's going on and we shouldn't be discussing it here because
I'm
that's not
not
part of the
going to go
business,
further.
but
I said I'm not giving details.
right. But, and you're not, I'm not saying that you are either, but, Adrian, we don't talk very much, but you know that I care about you and always feel free to, you know, drop me a message and we can chat if you ever need anything. And I
I
don't do that for many people.
know, right? Neither of us. We're both pretty much like we have like limits now, or we have like
Yeah.
boundaries. We finally learned what boundaries were 3 years ago. It doesn't matter that we're old. We're like, oh wait, boundaries. These are those things that we were supposed to have when we were young and we forgot. Um, Now like Adrian sent me a text message with the thing that had been posted over on DI, and she sent it to me, and she was like, this is me. And I was like,
Oh, I
yeah,
saw that she shared it and then it looked like she
she
took it
did.
down. So
No,
I
she
figured
shared
it
it.
was triggering.
It was a little, but she did her, and I let her process it, and felt bad because I kind of felt like I ghosted her. But like when you're on vacation with your in-laws or family, you can't just address everything all at once. So,
Yeah.
but it hit her in her feels, and it was something that she said she needed right then and there. So that's like another thing is like that's why I don't watch these podcasts and stuff. It's like I feel like, again, prime example. I feel like because I said this on my thing regarding Lucy Calkins when I was in the mountains. It's like everybody just keeps forgetting about moms, and
Yeah.
they forget about moms. They forget about the kids that come along with the moms. And
Well, again, it's because it's not about the kids. Education is about education, and therefore it's about the teachers and the establishment and the administration. It's not about the kids. The kids are the automatons that are supposed to march through the system, go, yes, sir, no, sir, thank you, sir, may I have another, and, get a piece of paper on the other side and go forth and conquer with, illiteracy dragging them down.
how do you really feel, Ash? How do you really feel? Like, I mean, sorry. I know. But what I had said, Jesus Christ, that was a lot. Anyway, that was way more vicious than me. See, buddy, look, see, this is the Ash y'all don't see all the time. Like this one, like when she gets like in that mood, that's the one I'm always trying to like catch off guard, like so people can see because um she,
Well, I mean, okay,
no,
but
no,
back,
hold on, wait, hold on. It's like the reason I want people to see that is like people routinely run their mouth or talk out the side of their neck, right? And they don't know you. And it's like,
well, even people that think that they know me don't know me because they're just
oh,
profiting off of what I do and, the reputation that they think that they can get on my coattails. So,
okay, I
there's
mean,
that.
do you have anything else, ma'am? Okay. Anyway, uh, like I said, on any given day, if you say some one word, it can just like send, yeah. Um, but this is the Ashley that I think people need to see. And so that's what I was trying to get through before yeah. Anyway, moving on. You got me like completely off guard with that because you just went totally in on it. You're just like, fuck it. Yes, we can.
Oh, but I mean, I'm telling like no lies,
There's
it's,
no, you're not. But
and here I am on the cusp of meeting with two teachers
oh
to
yes.
hire them to work with my child one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
My child who is traumatized by teachers, terrified of them because of how traumatized he is by them.
Mm-hmm.
My trauma from fighting for
Ah,
him,
yes.
the bullshit that I've had said to me and had to put up with, and having generalized anxiety disorder and what that means to me from an emotional perspective. And, I'm having to swallow all of that while I basically have an anxiety attack every night while I go to bed, trying to work myself into a place where I'm comfortable enough to bring two people into our lives coming out of an experience where there was almost nothing positive and nothing but damage inflicted on my child.
That
So,
I know. I know. And I still apologize for that. That was my bad. But again, I'm
and
mad.
I'm
I'm
not, and I'm not even
no.
singling that particular person out,
I
which again, if she ever materializes in front of me, I'm going to jail.
am.
But
Oh, oh, we're going there. Okay. Okay. Well, just like let everyone. Okay, then, ma'am. Uh, God.
because I am going to hurt her.
Oh, good Lord, help. Jesus Christ, lady. I'm just joking. And that'd be
I've never
sad.
hurt anybody in my life physically,
I know,
and she
but
she brings up
but
evil thoughts of just
she brings up
anger.
a lot of thoughts and things that I would like to say, but I'm not going to cuss as much as I would like to. But now you gave my ADHD some stuff to anyway, getting back to what I think I was trying to say. Anyway, valid points, all valid points. What I was telling you is while I was in the mountains, like, our happy place, which
Mm-hmm.
that's why we always go out there because we're isolated. I have no cell reception. I turn and like when I turn my cell phone or the cell reception back on, like as we were finally after we hit a paved road, ping ping ping. I'm like, why? What do you what I had do not disturb on my emails. I had a literal message on my voicemail, which I never do, saying, "Don't. I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to email you. I'm not going to call you back. I won't text you. This is when I'll be back." And it still got flooded. And then what also happened was this real quick before I know you have to go to me. Another thing that happened is like I've had a slew of moms just like send me messages here locally that it didn't really break my heart, but it just kind of made me feel, I guess, a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that like I needed it because I didn't. I just, it was interesting because of seeing their babies graduate, knowing what they went through to make sure that happened, and knowing like how we connected. Um, a lot of people still don't know all the details and all the messiness that took place in Georgia or with me and the clan, the group, the crew. Um, but there's a
The sorority sisters.
yeah, but there's a couple of them that do. And she was like, "Look, like I don't care. You've done more than it was just really weird because I hate getting compliments. So when I was like reading how she was like she was like, I just wanted to let you know in case you don't think so. You really did make a change. And you helped us in ways that like we will never be able to like repay you." And this one particular person, she's known me so long, she actually remembers like my story for the dyslexia task force where I spoke on my sister. And that's why she made the decision she made for her daughter to immediately remove her from the setting she was in and put her back into a setting where that self-esteem based issue would stop. Or the coping mechanism would stop. But it was because she remembered what I had said about my sister. And she just didn't want her daughter to go through the same thing. And so she yanked her and she followed mom gut and she did her thing. And so it's bizarre because I've had a couple of moms like that slide up in my DM this weekend. I'm like, where have y'all been? I'm like, okay, let me preface this. I don't want the attention. I don't want the compliments. First. Second, I don't know how to respond to compliments. So if I don't reply to you, don't take it offensive. I just really don't know how to reply to compliments because I'm not used to them and I don't fish for them. But third, can't tell you guys how much I love you, but also at the same time, it breaks my heart to know that I had to go silent. And all the I realized this weekend, Ash, I'm not heartbroken about walking away. It's not what it is. I'm heartbroken about knowing that all the work that I put in, will forever be attached to them.
I get that.
All the work, all of everything that I did, legislation, outreach, for all of that, complaints, due process, suing, all that, it will forever be attached now to them as if it were their work. And I'm like, I'm the one that got stalked. I'm the one that had people slide into my DMs. I at no time offered my services. They just kind of got them.
Well, because you were actually doing it for the kids. And yes, your work is always going to be associated with them. But what I would tell you is it's still your work. And your work made an enormous difference because your work is the reason why those laws passed and for no other reason. And you need to be proud of that, you know, even if it is associated with people that didn't deserve it. And
no, I am proud of the work. It just makes
the funny thing is I kind of had like this breakthrough this weekend too.
Like, oh my God, wait.
Which I was thinking about, you know, everything that went down approximately this time of year 3 years ago. It was actually in March. That was the anniversary of everything that went down like 3 years ago. And, you know, I'm really grateful to my therapist for this, is because, you know, I've been in therapy long enough now that
You said it out loud. You said it out loud.
said it out loud.
I'm proud of you.
That, you know, the fact that I had a bad day and didn't respond to somebody okay, if people had genuinely cared for me, they would have recognized how much of a bad place I was in that day instead of attacking me. But instead, I got it by friends. I got crucified over something that was significantly blown out of proportion.
Sorry, go ahead. Continue.
By people who claimed to be my friends and or claimed to care about my advocacy and all of that. When at the end of the day, all it did was it showed their true character.
Because I didn't care at that time. I remember they didn't care about anything that was going on. Like, you had finally ripped a Band-Aid off about like taking care of your mental health. And they're like, oh, how dare you take care of your mental health? Okay, well, to that, why don't you go take care of your trauma? Like,
because again, you know, they wanted to have a real.
They had a leash on you, just like I had a leash on me. It was like, if you veer that
but
way,
they wanted to have a very ableist view of dyslexia.
Yeah. It's
That
power.
if you just teach our kids how to read, then everything's going to be fine. It doesn't matter when you teach them how to read. At that point that you teach them how to read, everything's just going to be sunshine and rainbows and unicorns. And that's not the reality. That's not what things happen. And nobody wanted to talk about the mental health, and nobody wanted to talk about.
Yeah. And that's when I got in trouble. That's when I got you in trouble, because I inadvertently, God forbid, talked about the mental health and kids. and adults.
Yeah. And what's funny is if you go back to the beginning of my work, I was always talking about the mental health. I just wasn't saying the word mental health.
Well, even it was mainly in your personal story that you discussed it a lot.
Yeah.
And then, well, that was the same with me. Like we both had our anonymous things. And then it's like I finally got to do that outreach, which the irony of who asked me to do the outreach. Anyway, moving on.
And I've got to go in 3 minutes.
In 3 minutes. But I was gonna tell you, so I had this thing over the weekend, that I wanted to tell you is that like I think I now know what we need to do with DI. I'm just saying this on putting this in the universe for you. What I want to do is I want to have more random pop-up conversations like this, but I want to do it with like I want to do it with like Adrian. I want to do it with, remember how Mary said to keep the dyslexic voice in the back of your head at all time?
Right.
Like because I talked to Mary after I sent her the clip of us talking about Mary.
I know, and she like tagged me on Facebook and I completely forgot to
Yeah,
respond.
no,
And I'm a terrible person for that.
getting back to what she told me though is that she's like, I still like, she's like, I really feel like we need to like make, now is the time that dyslexics need to hear it the most. Like our voice matters. And so with that, here's my pitch, because I know you've been floundering around like about what to do with DI. My pitch is we just like roll to Substack and keep it off of Facebook and just let everybody know, hi, it's over here. But also just like now that I've figured out the technology part, just have the random pop-ups with like the Adrians and the Marys and like people out here who, I mean, for fuck's sake, Adrian does cancer research papers. Karen, the psychologist, she's from MIT. She's like an MIT grad. Like her credentials, it, you know, and it's like it's not us like putting people on. It's not like a superpower type thing. They went through some serious, and they still go through it.
Yeah.
And nobody listens to them. So that's
Well,
what.
because, you know, they're not approaching it from an ableist perspective, and they're not approaching it from a sunshine, rainbows, and unicorns perspective. And until the dyslexic advocacy community, and I'm putting that in quotes because it's a very small percentage of people out there who want to control the message, until they get off their asses and stop making it about sunshine and rainbows and unicorns and really and truly talk about the things that we really need to be talking about from a real, true place of wanting to change this reality for our children instead of making themselves more popular with memes, posts, TikToks, and podcasts.
Clicks, likes, and shares.
Clicks, likes, and shares. Then, you know, it just remains this ableist bullshit that's going to exist out there forever. And I'm going to hang up, but I'm going to hang up with something that I came across that I loved, which was, I don't even know who this person is. And it's somebody took a screenshot and shared it somewhere, and I just picked up the image.
You're like, I just, happen to get it.
My 7-year-old just accidentally called neurotypicals neurodifficults. And I will be using that word whenever I meet a willfully ableist neurotypical from now on. And I was like, bravo, sister.
I like that.
I love that.
To me, that's going to go
my this advocacy community, and a couple of them are dyslexic, which I'm sorry, but because they just want to gloss over everything, whatever. But this ableist community that is driving this, quote unquote dyslexia message within social media, they're doing it from a very ableist perspective. So they are being neurodifficult, and shame on them all.
And that's what I was going to, I'll let you go on that because I was
because I gotta go.
I was gonna say, yeah, you can go ahead and drop, but like the thing I was gonna say is like, why I jumped on was just to say that when we were better off before the money. We were better
off. By
the
way, love you.
I love you. I'll talk to you later. But what I was just gonna say is like this weekend I realized that this community is so much better. We were so much better without all the money and without all the nonprofits. And I just kind of like want to get us back to that place where we can just be us and not have to not that I ever give a shit. Not that now you see Ash, she doesn't give a shit either. We're not trying to make anybody happy. We're not trying to have easy conversations. We're trying to make sure people's voices are heard. And we're trying to make sure that the kids and the parents that need that are heard. So, Adrian, you may get tapped to do a random live with us. I really hope Ash takes me up on that, but I kind of stand by that. I'm done with the clicks, likes, and shares. I'm done with the overly edited podcast. I'm done with the oh my god, we have a whole crew to do this for us mentality. Like the one thing that's true about Ash and I is like we don't have anybody doing anything for us. And Ashley's podcast has been up for years and it was done by her. And it's done on multiple platforms. So if you don't see us on Facebook, that's because I personally removed my public profile. And I like it like that. But I'll be over here and I'll be on I can live stream to Instagram, but I don't spend a lot of time on social media anymore because it just gaslights the shit out of me. And I don't like the landscape and I don't like the way it looks and I don't like the things that are said and I don't like the way people act. And I think there's just too many people stirring shit. You've got like I said the other day, it's just too fractured. Nobody wants to engage in it anymore because parents are now looked at as, oh, you're one of those pain in the asses. That's how it's looked at. And I don't want to have anything to do with that. So that being said, I'm gonna go eat my sandwich now. And yeah. So hopefully I can get Ash to do this more or I can get people to jump on randomly and just do off the cuff type stuff because venting shouldn't be frowned on, especially if you're a mom of a kid on an IEP. Like we should be allowed to vent. We should be allowed to say whatever we want to say without being tone policed and without worrying it's going to affect our public profile at that. So, to that, what is all this in the background? Hold on, I got all this stuff in the background. Yeah, I love you, Adrian. Like I said, I'm gonna slide up into. I'm gonna get you on live one day. Actually, multiple times. And hopefully we can redeem this shit. Ow, just took my glasses off. This shit community because people have stopped caring about the underlying message and the underlying mission. And quite frankly, like that's what pisses me off the most is that everybody forgot what they were supposed to be doing. And who better to piss everybody off than me and Ash? Because God knows me and Ashley piss everybody off already, and we don't even have to do anything. All we have to do is make a post, and somebody inadvertently thinks it's about them, and they get in their feelings and show out. So, sorry, not sorry, because that's the truth. Whew, it's insane. But yeah, I'm gonna jump back on later though to kind of like wrap up like what school was like for my son this year and what it was like for all. So, with that being said, I guess I'll see you guys later. Okay.